How Mirror positioned itself to get acquired for $500 million. Let's get into it. Boom. What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here. I'm with Matt Skopak.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Deep Dive, episode 12, where we find businesses such as Mirror and we dive into their business and marketing strategies such that you can take these strategies and start implementing into your business. This company is amazing. They just got acquired for $500 million by Lululemon. It made complete sense for this brand. And we're really going to talk about how they really position themselves from, I would say day one. Brynn Putnam, I believe, is the founder and CEO of the company.
Solo founder.
Yeah, and she's just really smart. I believe when she started the company, she was about 26, 27-year-old, a former ballerina.
Yep.
Had
Harvard grad.
Really?
And then, Harvard grad.
And she also had a boutique studio, a fitness boutique studio in New York City. She was very well versed in this space. So let's talk about some pinpoints of how they position themselves, such that you guys could start implementing these as well.
Awesome. So let's start. Number one, trying and executing something new at 40%. And what do I mean by that? I see a lot of overwhelming things when I talk to entrepreneurs or people starting new businesses or trying to pivot, that they try to perfect every new thing that they do, and that is the worst possible thing that you can do. And this is something that Brynn said when I was listening to a podcast of her. She said, try new things at 40%, knowing that it's basically going to be a sloppy beta. And I love this. It resonates with me so much. And from all the businesses I've been part of, and even in the businesses now, I see a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners trying to perfectly do something and basically delay it because they don't think it's perfect. And that's the worst thing that you can do. I'm sure Sean's probably seen this so much, is entrepreneurs are usually perfectionists. They like to make everything as perfect as possible. But the problem I have with this is perfection delays something that might not even work out.
Also, you may think that it's not
Great
perfect,
point.
but the market may think it's an amazing product. So you got to test it out in different markets. And a lot of, actually, again, I'm going to emphasize, quote this book that mentioned this, Tools of Titans.
Yes.
They mentioned something what Nike does. They sometimes put out new products in different markets, such as like New Zealand and so forth. See how it does there before they actually start expanding into different markets. So if they see if it's performing well in one market, it's great. Let's launch it in different other markets as well.
That's it. Restaurants do the same thing. Starbucks or McDonald's, they have corporate stores, not that too many, but they launch new products there, see how they do, and then if it works out well, they'll launch them company-wide. So definitely something that I can recommend for every business owner. And second of all, you don't know if it's going to work, and you can actually let the customers help you modify or tell you exactly what they want by getting their feedback. So don't try to perfect anything. If you're trying something new or pivoting, launch it. Understand that it's going to be sloppy. Understand that's probably going to need to make changes, but that's the best thing.
And the best thing is you're going to get the customer insight, right? When you get the customer insight, that's when you make some changes and you improve on your product or service.
So that's number one. Don't try to be perfect. Launch it knowing it's going to be sloppy.
Awesome. Number two, strategic partnerships. Now, what Mirror, some of the partnerships they had is, one of the partnerships was with Lululemon. So before they actually acquired the company, they had a strong partnership where they had their ambassadors, right, as either their instructors, as their trainers and so forth. So they had a strong bond. I believe they were also an investor in the beginning for the first seed.
So not the first round. The round, it's called the B1 round, which was in October of 2019. Lululemon invested $1 million in total of a $32 million funding.
So Lululemon had a strong ambassador program. They leveraged those ambassadors. And now with this partnership with Mirrors in the future, right, you're going to see the instructors wearing Lululemon's products, where the product is now you're going to be able to buy some of the clothing from that Mirror.
Absolutely, it's coming. Guys, look at the life cycle there. I mean, this tells you a lot. You think it's maybe just a coincidence, but Lululemon first had a partnership where they did yoga classes, right, Sean? And then they invested in it in October of 2019. And then, let's see.
I think they're going to get into meditation now as well, or they actually have that now.
And then in June 2020, they acquire the full company for $500 million. This is not coincidence. This is something that happens all the time, that companies, before they acquire, like to invest in the brand, understand it, and then they'll make a full acquisition.
You're
within
basically
6
building a
months year.
brand that is so valuable to that bigger company.
Yep.
They see that value in it. So they're now having a partnership. They're seeing the future. They're basically seeing what's going to be the next 5 years, where the market is going.
Like a test drive.
With that partnership, it's becoming more valuable for that company to then acquire it.
Exactly. So if you're a brand and you're trying to build and you think that one day you want to get acquired by someone that you think is a perfect fit, reach out to them, talk to them about either a partnership, or possibly investing in you, and then take the conversation. What's the worst they can say? No. But a lot of times they're interested, they'll invest.
This is something that Supreme does really well, right? They do these strategic partnerships,
yep, exactly.
Huge, with different artists, perhaps different other, I don't know if they do it with different brands, but you could implement this strategy in a variety of ways.
It's going to be the future. I'm telling you right now, retail is dying. We all know that. It's happening. E-commerce is growing. That's why me and Sean love doing this. And these partnerships with other brands on e-commerce is going to be here, and I'm telling you, it's the future.
You know who else does this? Iconic, actually, my competitor. They do this really well. They license, it's a similar type of aspect. They license different types of deals, such as, like, for instance, they license something with Monopoly, right? So they have this whole Monopoly line. That's considered some sort of partnership. They find they find value in that. It's a little different in aspect, but it's also very strategic.
Yeah.
So you could be very creative, look for people that align with your brand, and see if you could form some sort of partnership that actually provides value for both parties.
Yep, exactly. That's a great point. Number 3, contract help instead of hired help. And this is something that Sean's going to jump in and help me with, but this is something that Brynn talked about when I was listening to a lot of her interviews, is in the beginning when she was creating Mirror for software as well as hardware, instead of hiring people or bringing on another founder or anything else, she basically contracted help instead. And thinking about this, when I heard that, that's a lot of what we do in a lot of the companies a lot
of companies especially, it's very expensive to hire someone full-time. So the best way to doing so, especially, is contracting people, leveraging tools like Upwork, freelancing.com. There's tons of other tools out there.
Especially in the beginning too, though. When in the beginning you're trying to bootstrap and you don't have the money, you don't want to give up equity. So what do? You contract help, you use them for a certain project, and then basically that's what Sean talked about. Upwork's a huge one that we use. Also looking for other people.
Sweetberry, we use it for like VA work, usually
VA
for admin
work.
VA work.
Yep.
They used it for I believe they needed software engineering.
Yeah, software engineering. She talked about.
Build prototypes and so forth. So it is a very inexpensive way to build something that you need. You could do marketing. You could find graphic designers. You could find social media managers. You could find video editors.
Want to build
you could
an
find
application possibly for your business. People that can help with software design of applications and things like that as well.
So look for tools. It's going to take a little bit. Sometimes you're not. It's almost like, you may interview 3 people. You may hire 3 people. Out of those 3, 1 is gonna be great. That's fine. You gotta basically go in the market, and you gotta realize that as well. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's gonna be a lot less expensive for you, especially when you're hiring someone full-time.
It's almost a form of bootstrapping.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
Another form of bootstrapping.
Number 4, have a strong vision such that everyone in your company believes in your vision. What does that mean? How does the founder, Brynn
Putnam,
Brynn Putnam, had a really strong vision. She realized when she built this product that it was more than just going to be fitness. The way she even strategized, her brand name doesn't even say anything about fitness in it. So the product today is an interactive fitness
mirror.
Basically a mirror where you could take not just yoga classes, but boxing classes, meditation classes, and so forth. But she's even thinking further. This is going to be the future. She's saying that this is going to be the new way of telemedicine. This is going to be a way of fashion.
Yep.
So this is going to go into a lot of different categories, which is making this product so valuable that's why it's a great value for Lululemon to acquire. So she had this vision from day one. She saw the product and she's like, this is going to be the future. She solved so many different pinpoints as well. Like, for instance, there's some of the competitors we didn't even mention is like Peloton and so forth.
She doesn't consider.
The thing is, Peloton is only solving one aspect. It's the biking. People get bored of that. You get bored of this one type of. There's different types of classes, interactive classes when you're on the Peloton, but you're still on a bike.
Yeah.
However, when you're with the mirror, it's different. You're doing all these different classes, in addition to the convenience. Like it doesn't take up much space in your room.
Yeah.
It's a mirror.
I know.
So the Peloton, we actually had one here. It takes up a lot of space. It's really heavy. It's hard to move around. So she solved all that. So that made it really extremely valuable as well.
This is the one problem maybe I had with her or this company. This is for me thinking about this, and the more I thought about it, I think she was either pressured by her VCs to sell or she sold out too early. Because when you listen to her,
Oh, it is. I mean,
she speaks about how she believes this is not a fitness company. She speaks that this is the newest technology.
She said it's going to impact American culture, which it is.
Impact American culture. This is the third screen in someone's home: your cell phone, your TV, and then you'll have this. However, she did such a good job branding. She basically not segmenting herself to only fitness, and then all of a sudden she sold out to a fitness company where they're obviously going to use this for basically selling Lululemon and that channel of fitness. So I think she was probably forced out or something like that. That's my only one thing is I think this product has so much more potential than only fitness, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why she sold.
She's not gonna. Well, she's gonna leverage. Lululemon has a strong, basically
brand
backbone, right?
Yeah.
And you need that support sometimes to move forward and to scale the company.
Yeah.
And Lululemon is gonna allow that. She's still the CEO. She's still part of a big company.
You understand what I'm saying, though.
She again. What goes back to it is she's having a strong vision. Yes, in 10 years, it might seem like it was the biggest bargain. Lululemon got a huge deal out of this.
I'm telling you right now.
But it's the same concept as when Facebook bought out Instagram.
I know.
Right?
It is.
So in order to move forward, yes, but sometimes you can't be too greedy. Snapchat, example of Snapchat with Instagram with the whole stories thing. So sometimes if you want to move forward, if you want to stick with your vision, if you want to,
And there are competitors out there though. There are, like, not talking about Peloton, there's I think something very similar to what they have with the mirror.
I'm sure there is.
So I understand that point. This is Lululemon. Great job. This is undervalued. They're talking about by 2022, it's going to produce $700 million in revenue a year. It's already doing $100 million in 2020 mirror. So great job for Lululemon. You're going to see the stock surge more than 35% than it already has this year. This is a great acquisition. Number 5. Immerse yourself in customer service. And this is the biggest tip I can have, something Brynn was very big on. And you need to understand your customer, your consumer. You need to understand what they value. You need to understand what their problems are before you can be a great employee for your company.
The best way to get insights is actually immersing yourself in customer service, not just 100%. By reading headlines, not just by buying industry reports or people do. If you really want to understand your customer, really dig into it by actually doing the customer service yourself. I actually do this for Reborn. When you go to reborndesign.com, my art company, you will see me popping up. Hey, how can I help you? Or something like that, right? I'll get all insight. I will be the person responding. I don't have a stock photo there. I don't have an automated
you don't have a
reply.
Customer service team too.
I want to understand the customer. I want to see what they want. Maybe they say, hey, I have an idea of a design and so forth. They give me suggestions.
Yep.
I put that in queue. Be say on Trello or something, which is my project management tool for different ideas, and then I'll implement later on. So huge.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're excited. I enjoy it. But you think, you guys are probably saying, oh, it's a great idea and concept. Really, let's go to Brynn. Every employee that worked for Mirror does 2 months of basically ticket fulfilling or customer-like tickets or customer service. Every employee at a company that just sold for $500 million does customer service.
So she requires her employees to do
every employer requires it.
I could see why too. I think maybe I would say
because they have such a strong culture in the brand. You need to understand they're so customer centric that you need to understand who your customer is, what the brand is, and who you are. That's why it's such an important focus.
It might be a good takeaway for a lot of these e-commerce brands to actually say, hey guys, maybe have 2 months of each of your employees.
Hell, you don't have to
be
take
part
over.
of customer service
Because
you also get other people thinking of different ideas. Because when people look at insight, right, some people interpret it differently. So you want to get different mindsets to interpret certain ideas, such that like they may think of something different, like, oh my God, I got the best idea for your product, and it will help you maybe scale further or help you come up with a new design, product, or service. And
maybe it's actually the customer who writes you an email. Ring, ring, how is Mirror created? basically a customer told Brynn, hey, I loved what you did by adding the mirrors. That was the biggest change that you've done to your boutique before she got into it that I enjoy. And then she's like, wow, mirrors. Let me create a company now, mirrors, where you can bring it into your home. So in this case, mirror, the concept was created, or not created, the idea was basically from a customer of her past venture. So customer service, make sure everyone, or at least the founder, is a big part of it.
Love it. Number six?
Number six,
position yourself, if you can. This is really actually important. Position yourself gender neutral. Like, don't think about in the future, right? You don't want to position, you don't want your logo, your brand name to seem like it's too feminine, that's too masculine. You want to hit both demographics, and they did this really well. They have a 50%, both male and female, right? 50% of them is female, 50% of them is
they're exactly
male.
50-50, yeah.
The name is not feminine. The logo is not feminine. It's like, I think it's white and black, right? White background, black font. It is the perfect, like, people are not going to be afraid of having the mirror in their living room or in their bedroom, right? It doesn't look weird for them. So, the thing is, for Sugar and Kush, you guys didn't do this.
No, it's okay, but this kind of goes against things we've talked about in the past.
I didn't do this.
Just make sure that you're consistent throughout all of your branding. If it's okay choosing a niche market and only selecting a certain demographic to target, that's okay. I think this idea and this brand was so open. It could have went any direction. It could have been partnered with fashion companies. It could have partnered with telehealth companies. So what she did.
Oh, and who said that's not going to happen? So.
Now it's too late now. Lululemon. I mean, I just don't see how it can go that route. But what she did is, I don't think they were sure of where their future was. So they created a brand that was basically very neutral, gender neutral, and that's basically how they went forward with it.
Love it. I'm going to go for number 7.
Wow, you got the bonus.
Try to incorporate different revenue streams. What they do is they have a subscription model. So you have the product, you think you buy for $14.95, right? Now, once you have the product, and on top of that, very expensive product, how can you afford the product, which is actually another pinpoint, but I'm going to mention in this, is they have different payment options, such as like Affirm. I think they use Affirm, which allows you to do split payments.
Every week we talk about.
You could do quad pay. So if you have an expensive product, try to find alternative ways people that could afford it, right? And especially using these tools, it's most likely interest-free or very low interest. So they have a subscription model. I believe it's $39 a month after you also have the product, which allows you to have unlimited types of classes, or
just all your classes.
All the classes.
There's only one plan.
You get to have 5 members or something. You could add up to 5 members in the subscription, something like that. It makes it more valuable. So that's huge, and having that reoccurring revenue.
Personal trainer, you can now have an option that they just introduced probably within the last 6 months to a year. You can do personal training sessions for $40 per session.
That's another revenue stream. Another revenue stream that's going to happen, which I don't know if it is right now. I got to actually get the product. I'm actually thinking of getting the product for my mom for her birthday. This is actually a great, the whole thing is great. I love it. Is you could purchase, as we mentioned before, the clothing that the ambassador's wearing.
Yeah,
you could purchase it right there and then.
It's going to happen. Lululemon's going to have every basically instructor, every ambassador wearing Lululemon. You're going to be able to purchase it on the app. They're going to be able. This product was not very. It wasn't very. What's the right word I'm looking? It wasn't marketed very substantially. Like it wasn't marketed very. Like it's very young. I think it only started selling in 2018.
Yeah.
So this is. I don't know. Lululemon. I'm all for this product.
Yeah. Other aspects I want to get into, they're not going to be different points, I'm going to do it really quick because these are just great points. When you have a product like that, have a strong guarantee policy. They have a 30-day tryout, right? If you don't like it, that's fine. Your money back. Awesome. You need something like that. Also, when you have a product, if you have a product that is very hard to install, you need something like what they offer. It's called white glove delivery service. Yes. Once you purchase it, they'll have someone come, set it up for you. No questions asked. That makes it much easier for the consumer because a lot of people don't want to install it. They don't want to pay for that. Yep. So that's all included into their strategy as well. So And the thing we mentioned before is different payment offers as well. So just wanted to highlight those things because just other aspects that I think was just great that helped them, that make them so valuable and what makes people actually buy the product. And they highlight that on their Facebook ads. So if you look at their Facebook ads, you'll see try this at home for 30 days for free, or like something for free. They highlight their guarantee policy, which is like within like 2-3 lines, you understand the product between you seeing the video or the image, the creative, and the caption, the headline that goes along with it. So it gets the consumer to be like, oh, you know what? They feel confident in buying something like that and spending that money. So
if I had to give one more bonus thing, I would go right to the founder because I love Brynn Putnam. She's a great entrepreneur. Listen to her speak. That's actually why all of the initial investors invested in her. When you are, say you're trying to find the product or launch a new business, make sure that your product or your business is launched, or at least for the most part, in an area which you have some kind of specialty or understanding in. She was very big in the boutique fitness industry. She understood it.
She's well-versed in the space.
Well-versed it. If you look at most entrepreneurs, their background will always be in the product or the service that they launch. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't try to launch a product that you really don't have a good understanding of or that industry. Make sure it's something that you have a specialty in or
I love that you mentioned this. I thought it was one of the points. I forgot to mention that.
So
that's a great point.
This is very big. If you don't know what your business is yet, make sure that you have an understanding, knowledge in that industry. Huge. Don't try to go into an area where you don't know. So,
guys, this is it. We're done. I hope you like this episode. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more weekly videos like this. Let us know what you think. You could tweet other M Scopac at Twitter or at Sean_Azari. Also, you could put
Matthew_Alexander with 2 X's.
Same thing on Instagram. Also, if you have any questions, you could put in the comments below. If you're listening to this on the podcast, give us a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate it. Maybe share with your entrepreneur friends that would find this content valuable. We love doing this. We love helping people, and I think it's bringing a lot of value. We do a lot of research. We're in this. We're embedded in these type of industries. Again, I do this for a living. I run these marketing strategies all the time, but I'm also learning, and you're as well, when we're actually really, really diving into these companies. So really excited about it, right?
I love it. I love it.
Guys, see you next week. Ciao.